We're live. Hello.
Hello, everybody. Well, we got the three cast today, not the four cast, because some people are, dentist appointments. Some people are traveling Greece. Some people are fashionably late. It is what it is. That's the life of show business when you do it like a ragtag army. But look, the shooting with Charlie Kirk was, man, a shot across the bow to let us know the right wing people like ourselves that these people are willing to use bullets to silence us. So, the movie Dear Mr. President was exactly about that free speech and how we're being stifled. Now, it seems that the left is also willing to use bullets, and there's a lot of people celebrating, which they should be ashamed of themselves. Okay, it's ridiculous. But this is what we get for sending our kids to these liberal schools and colleges, etc. All right, when they come out the other side, the sausage happens to be communistic sausage, and that's what it is. I mean, what do you think about this whole thing with the shooting, Carol?
Well, yeah, it is sending out a very clear message, trying to silence us all again. And also, it's been a while. There has been a lot of talk about parents when they send their kids to these schools, they don't come back the same. And, do we take it really serious? But people are taking it really serious now. And especially, I think the young Christians are going to rise. And, that's who should know about censorship, and that's why I think it's so important to get it to them in a much bigger way. Have your children watch Dear Mr. President, because it is all about censorship and what's happening. So, yeah, and of course,
It would be.
just started pouring rain.
I know. I was just saying, is that static or
Hear it.
rain? We could hear it. I think also that's a really important market. If you put on a marketing hat for a minute, to get the word out, are the campuses and the schools, because I can't tell you how many friends. Listen, high school's bad enough. I have to tell you some of the nonsense that was parroted back to me when my kids were in high school. But now that they're in college, I haven't experienced it. I actually got a lot more pushback in high school with the nonsense, but my friends that have kids in college, just personal experiences, man, those kids came back one semester, and they were not the same.
Yeah.
Totally. I got a 6 minute video. I know it's a little lengthy, but I think it's the right video. We'll see if it is. I believe it is. I'm 95% sure it is, and I want to share with the audience because this is potentially the most profound jargon that's ever come out of Charlie Kirk's mouth. Believe me. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
He's a billionaire from New York.
You hear it?
An escalator who was three times married and twice divorced.
Could be a little
A
louder.
little louder.
That it's with a billionaire from New York who was formerly a planned
As loud as it goes.
donating Democrat to Gorsuch and Kavanaugh and 200 judges on the Supreme Court. Why is it that a guy that never served before in American politics was able to renegotiate NAFTA, get us out of the WTO, tell the WHO to go pound sand, tell the UN to go pound sand, renegotiate NATO altogether, get us out of the JCPOA, make sure those billions of dollars we spent on Iran are not going there anymore, move the embassy to Jerusalem, recognize the Golan Heights, deregulate the American economy, make us energy independent, finally build the wall? Why is it that that guy did it? It's because every single other person that preceded him, besides President Reagan, was part of the problem. They were part of the very same community of people that were Ivy League educated, said one thing and did another, were part of the ruling class that protected the agency, protected the Bureau, protected the DOJ, and as long as you said the right things and kept the deficit going, raised the taxes, deteriorated the industrial base, boosted Wall Street profits, kept the borders wide open so they could have foreign nationals domiciling in this our country against our values, and we get benefits for kids who vote against our own values, then things will be just fine. Why is it that this guy's different? Because unlike any other president, he could have been in the ruling class. He said no. He had enough money to be in the ruling class. He's got more money than James Comey, Andrew McCabe, Peter Strzok, Smirk, his lover Lisa Page, and the person who probably published his book combined and multiplied times 100. He's the only president in modern history to have his own plane and actually go to probably a smaller plane when he becomes president of the United States. He's one of the only presidents that was best-selling author, #1 TV show on The Apprentice, NBC, literally was in every single rap song, was glamorized. President Barack Obama said the American dream is to be what? Is to be Donald Trump. That's what he said the American dream was. Why is it that this guy's all of a sudden the populist hero? He's supposed to be part of the ruling class. It's because he's a defector from it. It's because he was in the dinners, he was in the cocktail parties, he heard the language, he heard the contempt that the ruling class, the Wall Street financiers, the Washington, D.C. lobbyists, and the Silicon Valley elites that he had to be around. He knew the contempt that they had for the plumber, electrician, the carpenter, the bricklayer, the person building the very same building that he was financing. So he took the woman rink mentality, the philosophy that built that woman rink quicker and better than anyone could have imagined, despite the New York City bureaucracy and the municipal burdensome rules. And he said, I'm going to bring this to Washington, D.C., and I'm actually going to do something that a politician has never done before. I'm going to tell you the truth, no matter how brutal and honest it is. I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do. From the time he went down the escalator, he was the only person running for office that talked about China immigration, the two issues that are most affecting our country now. How was this possible? Because he listened to the very people the ruling class hated. He would walk a job site and you'd ask him, what's on your mind? He says, man, I'm really worried that we're getting taken over by China. I'm really worried that we're getting too many people in this country. I'm worried I can't pay for healthcare. You internalize. That's what a populist is. It's someone who listens to the people. What makes President Trump different? This is a president who didn't need his job. He's the only president in American history who's going to be poorer after becoming president than before. He's not going to sign a book deal big enough to possibly make up for the gains. His son, investigated by every single authority imaginable, from Bob Mueller to the House Intelligence Committee to Adam Schiff, to the Federal Bureau of Investigation, after being set up for that very same meeting. His businesses audited and currently under criminal investigation by the New York Attorney General for no reason and no grounding further. His other son, Eric Trump, his charity gets shut down for self-dealing despite no evidence at all. He just wants to give treatment to cancer kids, St. Jude's Hospital. His 11-year-old son, under constant and daily attacks for just existing as a teenager or early, a 12 or 13-year-old in this society. How dare he live? He's the only person that will be more damaged materially, philosophically, and morally. Every other president ends up better on the back end. They end up being able to write their stoic journal and drama and being better respected. This guy is a vessel for us, a vessel for those of us that have nothing but resentment for the kingdom of Washington, D.C. The type of people that think everything is just perfectly fine because we just built a Hermes. Hermes is now in Reston, Virginia. Don't you know? Louis Vuitton's in Fairfax County, everybody. Things are great. Didn't you know that we literally have Dolce & Gabbana now in Georgetown? Things must be wonderful. You go into Washington, D.C., the cranes are as far as you can possibly see. The construction cranes, they're trying to rebuild the Parthenon, the Giza pyramids quicker than anything I've ever seen. It's more construction happening in D.C. perpetually. Why? It's the only place in America. This is why 8 out of 10 of the wealthiest counties in America are around Washington, D.C. The only place in America where they get richer at gunpoint. They have a multi-trillion-dollar cash flow happening into their center, into their power structure every single year, not because we want it. If Chicago and Minneapolis and Detroit, if people get rich there, they have to convince you to buy their products. Maybe it's manufacturing, maybe it's automobiles, maybe it's Best Buy, which is, of course, a Minneapolis company. But Washington, D.C. is different. They do it at gunpoint. This is why Trump is different, and that's why I like it.
Market. Ladies and gentlemen, you will not hear a better argument for the President of the United States than that 2.5 minutes right there. Cut it, mark it, drop it in. Are you a leftist? Are you communist? Are you Marxist? Are you super right wing? Doesn't matter. You can't disagree with that. That is the best argument you will ever hear, condensed, distilled like a proof alcohol into why Charlie Kirk believes in this president. And so if you're looking, look no further.
I don't think anybody has ever crystallized Donald Trump better than that. I mean, is there even an argument?
I mean, he said everything. And, I just want to digress because growing up in Queens, okay, before Donald Trump was the Donald Trump that the world knows, before he had The Apprentice, he was a local guy from Queens who was part of a family that built things, a construction company. And in addition to that, anybody who grew up in the area saw him as a small town hero, because what many people have come to know and many people don't know is that this man had a heart of gold for anybody who helped him. He was a man who walked on job sites and saw alcoholics strung out, had talks with them, told them to get themselves together. He's a guy who helped people when no one else will, to help their child get to a hospital in the middle of a snowstorm. He's a man whose limo got a flat tire, and when somebody pulled over to help him, he paid off their mortgage. And the stories go on and on and on. And on a personal level, when I was in college and I idolized him as someone who was from Queens, I literally had a picture of him in my wallet. It was a miniature version of him on Time magazine, because at that time I was in business and I just looked up to him as a role model, as for anybody who wanted to be an entrepreneur. So that's kind of like what was there before the presidency. So here's this guy who just makes all this money, who doesn't only just make money, but he's helping people and he's got a heart. Even his daughter Ivanka had said once that he would go through the newspapers and he would look for stories where there was an opportunity to help someone or do something good. So, I think that that's the side that the media has never shown. And Charlie Kirk puts that together in such a beautiful way in that interview that shows people what was he to gain, unlike all these other politicians that have been around all these years. I thought it was a beautifully crafted interview.
Yeah, there's no question. Listen, you can either choose this, tariffs, which under William McKinley, the United States of America had so much cash surplus, they didn't know what to do with all the cash. Okay, getting rid of the IRS. Back during William McKinley, we didn't have an IRS. Okay, there was no property taxes. There was nothing. None of this nonsense. Or you can have the party that allows this to happen. Let me show you this video.
How long is this one?
This one's only a minute and change.
Oh, okay.
Here's top 5 snacks that are fucking up your body. You definitely don't expect what will be number 1. Number 5, crackers. Soft, buttery, and fake as fuck. These flaky bastards are made with bleached flour, seed oils, and enough preservatives to outlive you. Number 4, Welch's Fruit Snacks. Fruit, my ass. This is candy in disguise. Corn syrup, sugar, gelatin, and a sprinkle of bullshit marketing. Number 3, Takis. Hot, spicy, and dumb as fuck. These satanic spirals are pure acid for your gut lining. Packed with artificial colors, flavors, and enough salt to mummify a cow. One bag and your stomach's begging for mercy. Number 2, soda. Still the goat of dietary destruction. One can delivers a sugar bomb that nukes your insulin, erodes your teeth, and turns your liver into mashed potatoes. And don't even start with that zero sugar shit. It's the same poison in a suit. And finally, number 1, fucking Doritos. The final boss of processed bullshit. These crunchy triangles are weaponized with MSG, artificial flavors, and addictive seasoning dust that sticks to your fingers like shame. You don't eat Doritos, you inhale them like a damn junkie. So snack like this daily, and don't be shocked when your body turns into a bloated, hormone-fucked mess. Here's top.
Now, look around you. Look at what you see. This is what we have produced. This is what the Democrats have allowed our shelves to be filled up with, all this junk food that will absolutely kill you. See, we're here predominantly to preach about XRP and all that kind of stuff, but the reality is, let me tell you, I want to live long enough to be able to enjoy the fruits of my life. I try to make sure I put good stuff in. This is the biggest criminal thing as far as I'm concerned. Cisco 2 months ago announced, oh, by the way, RFK, we're not going to put any more, poisons in the food. You've been poisoning us for 72 years, and now you're going to stop, and you think you're going to get away with it?
Right.
This is criminal. You're playing with people's lives.
Of course.
You're playing with people's health, which we know for a fact that you guys are all invested in the pharmaceutical industry. We know you're heavily invested in the drugs that keep everybody in a zombified state. We know. And so you're poisoning us with chemtrails. You're poisoning us with the food. All of that stuff is very real, right? And so do these people, do these companies think that they're going to get away with murder? Me personally, look, RFK's got his hands full. As far as I'm concerned, he should have we need a police force for the food industry to make unannounced visits and say, if you got poison in your food, we're going to take everybody to fucking prison.
absolutely nothing to do with.
Well, let me tell you, I disagree with one thing you said. You said the Democrats. I totally disagree.
It's
It's
not them, even the
both
rhinos.
parties. It's everyone. Because if you go back to the 70s when aspartame first came out, okay, who in the 80s approved it to go in when they've already proven that at high temperatures, okay, that this stuff is like formaldehyde for the body? It was
Yeah.
Rumsfeld. So we are not talking about a party. We're talking about a cabal that it doesn't matter what your label is that has worked against us to poison us. And personally, my own personal opinion is that the pause, whatever you want to call it, between 45 and 47 was the time when a lot of this started happening, and they're just revealing it now. We had food plants blow up. We had cows, thousands of them just keel over dead. I think that was the start of saying enough is enough and we're going to start fixing it. Now we're just hearing about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Carol doesn't have to worry too much about that. She's down in Costa Rica where stuff is a little bit more natural than up here in the Northeast, or the Florida, and you're in the Northeast. But anyway, needless to say, yeah, look, I think they got their hands full. Do you think that they're gonna be able to fix the food chain, the food supply chain like that? I don't think so. I really think that these corporations are thumbing their nose, saying, "No, we've been poisoning you guys for the last 70 years, and we're going to continue to poison you. Fuck you. What are you gonna do?"
I don't know if they're going to get away with it. And quite honestly, we really don't know what's going on because, as we know, we hear things after they're done, so to speak. So what happened during COVID when none of the shelves were full? Do we really think it was because of the truckers per se? I think it had to do a lot with using that as the cover to start cleaning this shit off it wasn't just food either. I mean, you're talking about sanitary napkins, you're talking about anything that touched the body, all these things later come out, how they are poisoning the body. So why was there a shortage at that time? Were they clearing this shit out and telling people you better stop, or arresting them, or who the hell knows? But I agree with you. It's going to take a little time. I'm so grateful everything on that list, and I hope people in the chat respond. I don't have any of that, but I have one daughter who eats these Takis once in a while. So I'm going to tell her she's not getting them anymore, because all that stuff is like the American diet.
Absolutely. You want to comment, Carol?
Well, I think it's a time for education for people, like get educated on everything. And then it is a choice. And they were even furious. Didn't something happen with what do you call them? Food stamps. And you can't buy certain foods like colas and stuff like that. Didn't something like that happen?
I didn't know about that, but maybe that's part of the change, right? Wouldn't you say? If it happened?
Yeah. While we're on the subject of food, I don't know if you guys remember this guy, but he's a comedian that unfortunately passed away back in the day. They don't make comedians like they used to back in the days of George Carlin, do they?
No, I think Jim Brewer comes pretty close. He tells it like it is. Yeah, different, but he's pretty good too.
How about this guy? You remember this guy? Remember this guy?
Yeah, he was funny.
Yeah, let's watch this guy. This guy's a pisser.
If you want to stop world hunger, stop sending them food. Don't send these people another bite, folks. You want to send them something? You want to help? Send them U-Hauls. Send them U-Hauls, some luggage. Send them a guy out there that goes, hey, we've been driving out here every day with your food for like the last, 30, 40 years. And we were driving out here a day across the desert, and it occurred to us there wouldn't be world hunger if you people would live where the food is! You live in a fucking desert! Nothing grows out here! Nothing's gonna grow out here! You see this? Huh? This is sand. Yeah. It's sand. You know it's going to be 100 years from now, huh? It's going to be sand! You live in a fucking desert! Get your kids, get your shit. We'll make one trip. We'll take you to where the food is. We have deserts in America. We just don't live in them, asshole!
This guy was a classic. This guy was really a classic.
Yeah, the start of 15-minute cities.
Yeah.
Where they're hauling the food in.
Yeah. Yeah, he was funny. But I mean, George Carlin had the number of everything. Like he knew with everything he would say. I mean, he did it in a funny way. He said it in a funny way, but it was not really funny.
Mhm.
It was a commentary on everything.
Right. What do you guys think of us potentially invading Venezuela and taking Maduro out? You're listening to what's getting ready to happen there?
No,
You don't think it's going to happen?
no, I haven't been watching. I mean,
Oh,
it's
okay.
yeah,
Well, I think
too
they
much
don't.
to watch all at once.
I don't think they have much of a choice because when you really come down to brass tacks, you can't bring in a new financial system, a heaven on earth scenario. Let's say we do clean up the food. Let's say we do arrest all the bad actors. Let's say we do arrest the people who want to continuously, poison us, etc. You think we're going to be allowed to have a new financial system and heaven on earth living right next door to hell? I don't think so.
No, I agree.
You know,
I agree. They're gonna, and I mean, some of this we don't know. Like, I think when these things happen in other countries, we these guys get out. I think it's sort of like waking more and more people up to realize, like, have you been noticing how many bad people there are? We need to get rid of them, and that's what we're doing. And it makes it, I guess, easier or maybe more palatable because that's the overhaul that's going to happen in our country.
Exactly correct. Yeah, people asking where Mike Barra is. Last week it was the teeth. This week is travel. I don't know what's next week's. I'm gonna make a list of excuses, right? And when you call in your excuses, just don't tell me the excuse. You say excuse number 26. Just pick a number. All right, whatever. It's okay. I mean, look, we got alternates on that. We need to have a few more alternates so that the show goes on. But yeah. He'll be back. I'm sure he'll be back. Oh, by the way, you know who's watching our documentary right now as we speak?
Who?
Sherry Jackson, the one that blew the whistle on the IRS.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah,
That's wonderful. I want to just go back to the documentary because last week we had the launch. We went on a little later last week, right? We weren't on our normal time frame, but I think over the course of the last week, there's just been a lot happening. Like, we just want to say that the screening was one day, but we're doing lots of things now. We're going to be having some media blitzes. We've got more and more venues that are jumping on board now that want to show this to their groups, to their followings. And we're still putting out that message. If you have a church, a group, any kind of venue, if it's in your home, the documentary is now available. If you go on dearmrpresident.net, it says watch the movie. You can pull people together and show it. We're not charging for this. Of course, there's an opportunity to donate if your spirit has guided you in that way, but it's free. And anywhere that you think you have a group of people together, have a watch party.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that Carol is right again. I think the movie is going to catch a lot of speed. My good friend that mined 92,000 Bitcoins, Joey Weeks, one of my best interviews ever. And I thought that I was going to break the algorithms on YouTube. They sent me a message immediately. I went from getting 4,000 or 5,000 views on an average video, and they held the video under 900 views for like 3.5 weeks just to send me a message saying, no, you're not going to break the algorithms. We're going to break you. Okay. And he said, your timing could not be any more perfect for the movie. He says and he watched it already, so he was very, very impressed. I got to play this video again. We played it about 2 weeks ago. I'm going to play it again. This is about beer. So for all you beer lovers out there, pay close attention. This one's a good one. Here we go.
Did you know beer wasn't always full of feminizing compounds? Before the 1100s, it was brewed with wild herbs, not hops. And definitely not glyphosate sprayed crops bottled in BPA lined cans. It was called Gruit. made with herbs like yarrow, mugwort, juniper, and heather, plants that supported the body, sharpened the senses, maybe even fired up the male spirit. It was brewed by women, shared in rituals. Beer was alive, intimate, powerful. Then came the 1100s. The church and the crown wanted control, so they taxed the herbs and pushed hops instead. Why? Longer shelf life, easier to regulate, and some historians argue it was deliberate, a way to suppress male vitality, to sedate the fire, because unlike those wild herbs, hops are estrogenic. They soften the edge, dull the mood, tilt the balance. Grew it disappeared. So did the herbal knowledge, so did the women who brewed it, and beer, it became what it is now. Hormone warping, mass produced, and profit packaged. So no, beer wasn't always making men soft. It once gave them strength. Maybe it's time we bring that back.
I think we should. I
Wow.
really do.
Mm.
I think we need to bring that recipe back immediately.
The war on masculinity and divine feminine is just unbelievable to just turn us into good little soldiers who work and pay taxes in an enslaved system.
Well, as soon as you go more left brain, the analytical side, it's black and white, it's robotic, and they have taken away development of the right brain function, which is music, art, creativity. So it's they've steered us, competition, sports, bread and circus, back to that, instead of playing and using our creativity and honoring the arts.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been messing with us for a long time. I don't know what it's going to take to win the war, but I still say the army is definitely an option that Donald Trump needs to exercise quickly, because there's still too many swamp creatures. I don't think people would be shocked. I think people can handle it. I think they can handle the truth. I think we should be ready to go. I don't know what's stopping him. Do you guys have any idea why it's not happening?
I think it is happening. I just think this idea of going on, like we've been told through the years, there's going to be an EBS and all that. I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know if that's real. I don't think any of us really do, except the people who know. But I do think that if they haven't yet, they're probably doing cleanups that we can't see. I mean, you said yourself, there's so much to clean up. There's so much to do. So I'm going to make the assumption that they want to get to a certain point with the behind the scenes before they make it public. What else can we interpret, right? We're awake. I don't know if it's a matter of awakeness. I think it's more just a matter of, did we get to the point that we feel we're ready to clean up a lot behind the scenes before we start showing things in front?
I think we're way behind. I think even Donald Trump would have loved to be much further along than where he's at right now, to be quite honest with you. There's too many forces against him. But let's watch. I'm sure you guys know who Russell Brand is, right?
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite guys who's waking up a lot of people.
Yes. Out of respect for you and your show, I've brought some facts. The pandemic created at least 40 new big pharma billionaires. Pharmaceutical corporations like Moderna and Pfizer made $1,000 of profit every second from the COVID-19 vaccine. More than two-thirds of Congress received campaign funding from pharmaceutical companies in the 2020 election. Pfizer chairman Albert Bourla told Time magazine in July 2020 the company was developing a COVID vaccine for the good of humanity, not for money. And of course, Pfizer made $100 billion in profit in 2022. And may I just mention that finally, and this is also a fact, that you, the American public, funded the development of that. The German public funded the BioNTech vaccine. When it came to the profits, they took the profits. When it came to the funding, you paid for the funding. It's difficult not to...
But I will just add one thing. It is possible that these are greedy capitalists who made a lot of money.
All I'm querying is this.
Yes.
Is if you have an economic system in which pharmaceutical companies benefit hugely from medical emergencies, where a military-industrial complex benefits from war, where energy companies benefit from energy crises, you are going to generate states of perpetual crisis, where the interests of ordinary people separate from the interests of the elites.
And cottage industries.
And Bill,
once you create an industry like checking you, I still get checked to see if I have COVID because it's a cottage industry. People started making money by sending a nurse to my house, and now no one wants to give up that gravy train.
Exactly what it is. It's a gravy train, and you know, and once they're used to it, they don't want to easily give it up.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Well,
for sure.
we could clearly see that. Don't they? The rumor is he's Bill Maher is Hugh Hefner's son. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. But we could see how they've controlled him, how his narrative has changed, huh?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I came across this one video that I sent to my good friend Frank. He's like a research buff for stem cells. He loves. As a matter of fact, my mom just had two sessions of stem cells and Myers cocktail and vitamin B12 and all kinds of steroids. You know, this is a plant that resembles the aloe vera plant, but it's not the aloe vera plant. And being that you are down there with all a bunch of plants there, Carol, you might be able to recognize what this is.
Good luck.
Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
This is the #1 plant to put more stem cells in your circulation. Hello, I am Christian Drapeau. I'm a stem cell scientist and author of the book Cracking the Stem Cell Code. Over the past 20 years, I have studied 20-some plants for their effect on releasing stem cells. Aloe macroclada is so far the top plant. To the untrained eye, this looks like aloe vera, but it is not aloe vera. It is Aloe macroclada that is endemic to Madagascar. There's about 65 species of aloe in Madagascar, and Aloe macroclada is the only one that has been used for centuries to make a product called Vahona. It's a product that is sold into markets throughout Madagascar, and it's used by people for all kinds of health issues, but more specifically for old age. If you want to basically age with strength, vitality, to be able to continue to work in the field well into your 80s, even 90s, they use Vahona. So when I heard about Vahona from a colleague, I just thought that looks like a real good candidate for a plant that has an effect on stem cells. So we tested it, and we discovered that Aloe macroclada almost double the number of stem cells in circulation within 2-3 hours of consumption. This is the
wild, right? Pretty wild.
So how do you get that? I mean, I know where it's indigenous.
I got it in my bookmarks. I bookmark all the shippies. I'm a research junkie myself. You know, I'm a information junkie, and I definitely want to go check it out and see if I can. I mean, look, if you buy it on Amazon, what are the chances you getting a good one? Probably slim and none. But you might have to, get with a nutritionist, and they'll probably be able to steer you in the right direction, like a guy like Frank Mancini.
Yeah.
Frank knows his stuff.
Absolutely. How did you spell it?
It's going to be plain here. I don't remember the name of the. They don't have that. Actually, don't put it in the actual description. Believe it or not, it just says that it increases the number of stem cells. Yeah, but I got it bookmarked. At some point, I'm going to go see if I could find where I can get that. So now they're going to be doing a ceremony, I understand, for Charlie Kirk on Sunday in Glendale?
Yeah, no, it's Gilbert, isn't it? Gilbert?
No,
maybe it was Arizona. Anyways, Phoenix.
Glendale, Arizona. Yeah. So
in the stadium,
I bet you there's going to be hundreds of thousands of people.
80,000 it holds.
The stadium is going to hold 80,000. There's going to be 380,000 people coming on top of the 80,000 for sure.
Yeah.
Did you see the amount of people that they had in London and New York protesting all the illegal immigration? Yeah. Crazy. So anyway, I don't know if we have anything else to discuss today, except for maybe next week we'll have a better turnout.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like it's a little bit like, all of us are working so hard. Like I'm looking at us all. We're just like we're like a little tired this week
Yeah.
from everything. And of course we're going to be gearing up again, to just but I think maybe we cut it a little short this week.
Yeah.
And we just want to thank everyone, right, for just watching the live stream and continuing to share it.
Yeah, we launched we didn't pull it. We left all the videos that we loaded up, but then after the shooting, we launched a new version where we basically attribute the movie Dear Mr. President to Charlie. If you guys can get it out there, because look, I just re-uploaded it to YouTube. I think we got like 339 views. I wish I was making that up, and that got uploaded a couple of days ago. And that's a channel that's got 52,000 subscribers. Really? We were born at night, but not last night, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, ridiculous. But I'm sure that once a few big people get a hold of it, I'm trying to get in touch with what's his name, Patrick Bet David.
Mm-hmm.
And I had one of his staff members contact me actually, and so we're going back and forth. I said, listen, if you just watch the video, you will feel compelled to hand deliver it directly to Patrick yourself. All right. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. We'll see.
Yeah.
Guys.
Just to let you know, Joe said he's created the page on IMDb.
Yes.
And he started uploading everything there and getting everyone's credits in and stuff.
So. Awesome.
Yeah. Well, he can't enter the credits, just so you know, Carol, because it's an official name. So we need to get all our podcasters to give us what is the official name they want on there. And that's why, I can enter it, you can enter, anyway, they can enter it themselves, but we don't want to do it for anybody. So if any of our podcasters are watching right now, get in touch with myself or Carol. I know, Carol, you're going to be traveling soon.
Yeah.
You can send it to both of us and I'll, pick up the slack. We want to get everyone's credit on there, but we're not going to do it for you because we want to make sure your name is exactly the way you want it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, we'll see you next time.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.